Election Day is 1 week away, and the presidential candidates are traveling across the country hoping to win over voters. We have the latest.
Anxiety over the 2024 elections is causing some people to lose sleep. If you're suffering from so-called allegedisomnia, we have some advice that can help.
The UNT Theater Department is getting ready to premiere a new production. We'll take you behind the scenes for the play called Anatomies.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Anissa Bender.
And I'm Landry Brady. The presidential candidates are making their final pitches to voters with just 1 week until Election Day. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump will be in battleground states again today. Millions of Americans have voted early, but in some states, people are trying to disrupt that process. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest.
With just 8 days until Election Day 2024, the race is starting to reach a fever pitch. 2 ballot boxes in the Pacific Northwest were set ablaze early Monday morning, one at a bus station in Vancouver, Washington, and just 15 miles away in Portland, Oregon.
Our officers quickly determined that there was an incendiary device that had been attached to the ballot box, and that is what ignited this fire.
And the candidates are setting the campaign trails ablaze in their own ways. Kamala Harris with star power.
I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother.
And former President Trump appearing with his wife, Melania.
This town has produced America's most fearless leaders.
The former president hosted a massive event at New York's Madison Square Garden Sunday night, but it was a comment from his invited guest, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, that has gotten backlash from the Latino voters that Trump has been trying to appeal to.
There's literally a floating island of garbage. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Trump also had some sharp language, speaking on illegal immigration.
And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail. We're going to kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible.
President Joe Biden, likely the most prominent among America's early voters, fulfilling his civic duty in Newcastle, Delaware Monday. He took out time to comment on his former opponent's rhetoric.
It's simply embarrassing.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
With just 1 week left until Election Day, time is running out to vote early. ntTV's Chloe Marshall is here with more. Chloe?
Thanks, Marissa. If you have not already cleared your calendars for November 5th, you still have the rest of the week to participate in early voting. As of Sunday, nearly 240,000 residents in Denton County had already voted. There are 8 different voting locations in Denton to choose from, all open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That includes the Gateway Center here on campus. VoteDenton.gov offers the rest of the early voting information you need to vote in Denton County, and a sample ballot to look at if you want to be even more prepared. Early voting ends this Friday. Make sure you plan out a time to beat the Election Day crowds. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Chloe. It was looking pretty cloudy when I left my house this morning.
I know, right? I really hope that it doesn't rain. Luckily, our weather anchor, Mauricio Ortiz-Segura, is here to tell us what we can expect. Mauricio?
That's right, guys. We're not going to see rain today, but we might see it later this week. But let's just take a look at the temperatures that we've got going on today. 79 degrees is the current temp. It's going to feel like 82. A bit of clouds out right now with a 21 mile per hour wind speed. So don't wear any hats that you don't want flying off your head, huh? As we go on to tonight's conditions, we see 83 degrees is the actual temperature and 85 is what it's going to feel like with 17 mile per hour wind speed. So it's going to die down just a little bit, but it is still going to be pretty windy. And as we go on to tomorrow's conditions, 77 degrees is going to be the actual temperature, and it's going to feel like 81. So we're in that similar range going in through today and tomorrow. But 19 mile per hour wind speed is going to pick a bit back up. So do be careful and put a lot of gel on your hair, I guess, if you don't want it flying everywhere. That's all I got for you guys right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mauricio. Several people are facing criminal charges in Houston in connection to an alleged cheating ring involving teachers. Prosecutors say an assistant principal at a Houston high school impersonated hundreds of thousands of teachers on their certification tests. A basketball coach at the same school is accused of organizing the scheme and making more than $1 million from it. School districts across the Houston area and other parts of the state are impacted. That's leading to concerns that educational standards and public safety are at risk.
A couple of months ago, we introduced you to Clover, the new canine puppy in training for the UNT Police Department. ntTV reporter Cynthia Mendoza is here to tell us a little bit more about the cutest member of our school's police department.
Clover made her first appearance on campus, gracing stressed college students on their way to class. But there is so much more that goes into introducing an emotional support dog to campus. Our reporter Avery Callens talked with the UNT Police Department to find out what that process is like.
Watch out, UNT students, because there's a new sheriff in town. Clover is the first community support dog at the University of North Texas Police Department, and her role is to provide emotional support and comfort to everyone working at or attending UNT. UNT PD officer David Causey is responsible for raising and training her.
Watson and Keegan are both amazing, but we got them, they were already grown. Are a couple of years old and already been through a lot of training. So I think it's a really cool process to be able to see her.
And the process of selecting the right breed for an emotional support dog might be more complicated than you think.
So being a Labrador Retriever owner myself and having had a lot of Labrador Retrievers, they are a much more docile breed.
While her sworn UNTPD duty is to comfort students, she can't help but being a source of relief in the police department as well.
Or early in the morning, because she's got the little bells on her collar, so people will be in their office or in their cubicle, and you hear running down the hallway, and everybody's like, oh, there she is. Everybody starts kind of rolling out, and looking for her, and grabbing her, and petting on her, and stuff like that, and she runs on to somebody else. So it feels like it's really lightened the mood, made everybody enjoy their time at the PD more.
And she's even exciting UNT staff members outside of the police department, like with UNT Senior Communications Specialist Chelsea Gilbert and her office.
I believe it was about mid to late August, and to give you an idea, I stood up and yelled it around the office and got everybody excited.
And she will be starting her work here at the end of October, so make sure to not miss out on these paws on campus. With North Texas Television, I'm Avery Callens.
Now, because Clover is still in her puppy phase, she's not working full-time yet, but you can keep up with the UNTPD Facebook page to see where she'll appear next. That's all the puppy business I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Cynthia. Coming up, some good news from McDonald's after a public health scare caused big problems across the country.
And if you're so worried about next week's election that you can't get a good night's sleep, we have some advice that will help you rest.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
On through the depths of ntTV studios, something special is brewing just for you.
Hey ghouls and goblins, ntTV News is having a special Halloween segment this October 31st. We're also covering 31 days of Halloween in Denton. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be spooktacular.
With election just 1 week away, many Americans find themselves struggling to get a good night's rest. Our segment reporter Adriana Rivera is here with more.
There are tons of emotions and sleepless nights.
If this election is causing you to lose sleep, you're not alone.
We call it electsomnia, so it's insomnia linked with the election season.
Sleep specialist Michelle Drerup with Cleveland Clinic says in her clinical practice, she's seeing more people being triggered with election-related sleep issues. She says the election can worsen symptoms in those who already struggle with insomnia and can also trigger sleep issues in those who don't have chronic sleep problems.
The person has difficulty
My
falling
mic's on.
asleep, and they may be kind of thinking about the election or potentially what the future might look like, waking up in the middle of the night and struggling to fall back asleep, or even just poorer sleep quality.
Drerup says to prioritize sleep before you even go to bed by limiting social media and election news exposure, which can worsen stress and add to sleep difficulties. Also, be aware of your negative thoughts and challenge them.
Try to stay in the moment of where things are at right now.
Finally, Drerup says not to focus on the election what-ifs. Instead, zone in on things you can manage.
We have survived many elections. We'll get through this, right? It's only 4 years. Trying to figure out what I do have the ability to control. I'm going to go out and vote. I'm trying to, do things to support others to vote. So thinking about what I can do versus a lot of what's out of my control.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Thanks, Adriana. Landry, I'm losing sleep just wondering when we're getting cold weather.
I know. This has definitely been one of the hottest Octobers. Our weather anchor Mauricio Ortiz-Seguera is back to take a look at the forecast. Mauricio?
That's right, guys. We're going to take a look across North Texas here. Wow, it is basically all the same temperature everywhere. Can you believe that? 79 in McKinney. You're going to see a lot of 70s, lots of light 80s here. So it's going to be a nice sort of mid-ish warm day. So not too much to worry about there. As we go now across the state, we're going to see it is getting a little bit hotter down here, a little bit down south. 86 in Houston, 83 in Austin, and even 83 all the way over there in El Paso. But maybe we're finally starting to see some of those fall/winter temperatures that we've been begging for. But why don't we take a look at the 7-day forecast, huh? Look at that. Oh my goodness, so much rain. If you're not a fan of the rain like I am, then it's going to be a pretty gloomy week for you. But if you like the rain, then it's going to be pretty cool. 84 on Wednesday, and some lows you're going to see, oh my gosh, all the way in the 50s and 60s. So it will be a bit chillier at night. But as you can see, Saturday and Monday, those are going to be stormy days. So do be careful when going outside. That is all I have for you guys today for the weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mauricio. McDonald's fans are getting some good news after an E. coli outbreak caused a bad week for the company. Locations across the country haven't been serving Quarter Pounders, but they're back on the menu now after McDonald's confirmed beef patties were not the source of the illness. CNN's Amy Kiley has the latest.
Could I get a Quarter Pounder with cheese?
The answer now is probably yes. McDonald's says it's putting the Quarter Pounder back on menus nationwide. That's after an E. coli outbreak tied to the burgers prompted their removal from locations in some states. The Colorado Department of Agriculture says it tested beef patties from restaurants associated with the outbreak and found no E. coli. McDonald's says that result and other data lead it to believe the patties were not what made people sick. The CDC says the outbreak has caused at least one death, more than 20 hospitalizations, and dozens of other cases.
And the more the night went on, the worse and severe the cramping got, to the point that my kidneys were hurting really, really bad.
Investigators think another potential source of the outbreak could be contaminated onions. McDonald says locations that got them from the Taylor Farms facility in Colorado Springs will serve quarter pounders without that topping for now. That's as federal regulators continue to investigate.
It will be over when the science says it's over, when we can conclusively say, this is what happened.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Although McDonald's has ruled out the patties as the source of the E. coli outbreak, the FDA still says they're not sure which ingredient is making people sick.
If you're hungry for more than a burger, Target is making it easier on your wallet to host Thanksgiving dinner this year. The retail giant is offering a meal bundle for just $20, which is $5 less than last year. This deal can feed 4 people and includes all the traditional Thanksgiving favorites, like a frozen turkey, potatoes, canned green beans, box stuffing, and jarred gravy. Target is offering deals on other side dishes like mac and cheese, as well as desserts including apple and pumpkin pie.
It's hard to believe that we're already thinking about Thanksgiving, and before you know it, we're going to be ready for Christmas.
Yeah, it's crazy, Landry. There's some good news about the holidays. This year's White House Christmas tree will come from Western North Carolina. That area was hit hard by Hurricane Helene a few weeks ago. Dave Fahirty has the story.
At the Cartner's Christmas Tree Farm, they are selecting the official Christmas tree for the White House. Sam Cartner, who has been growing trees for most of his life, says it is an honor, but his family says the real recognition should go to all the people who have helped Avery County recover from Helene.
All the generosity that people from all around the U.S. have shown coming in to help those people that lost so much in the flood, and we want this tree to represent the good things.
Cartner says he lost more than 5,000 trees from mudslides. He is grateful for the work of the NCDOT for repairing many of the roads here to allow crews to get to the farms. Larry Smith is also a grower. He just got his power back on a few days ago.
Just keep us in your thoughts and prayers. Thank everybody for what they've done.
The growers say most of the trees lost during Helene are not ones that would have gone to market this year. The Cartner Christmas Tree Farm was chosen after winning a nationwide contest. We asked how they choose the perfect tree.
At least like a 20-foot tree that's completely full. And we're looking for a nice color.
A good straight tree.
Yep. And we're always looking for the good smell.
It'll be several more weeks before the official White House Christmas tree arrives in Washington, D.C.
Still to come, there's good news for anyone who's been frustrated by a flight that was canceled or delayed.
And I'll give you a look inside the newest production from UNT Theater Department that premieres later this week.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
Calling all adventurers, elves, and goblins, join us on a mighty quest October 30th at 7 p.m. in the Union Lyceum for live D&D at UNT. Enjoy a night of improv, giveaways, and live dungeon-inspired music.
We'll meet 6 members of the Escrow Empire's special fleet.
A group of highly skilled magic users.
And melee fighters that work together to deal with wandering ghosts and spirits.
The door's open at 6:30 p.m.
So make sure to dress the part and wear your best costume.
If you're one of the millions of iPhone users, you may have noticed new AI features on your phone. Apple just released a software update that features Apple Intelligence. The company hopes to change how people use their iPhones. For example, users might notice that Siri sounds different, and it glows when it's being used. Proofreading, summarizing, and editing features have also been improved. You can download the software with Apple Intelligence if you have a newer model iPhone. Airlines in the U.S. are now required to give passengers a refund if their flight is canceled or delayed. The new rule went into effect yesterday. Some airlines previously gave out vouchers if there was a problem with the flight, but a new federal rule said they must give passengers cash refunds. This change comes just a week before the busy holiday travel season gets underway. The airline industry tried to fight this rule, but they now appear to support it.
UNT Theater is gearing up for their newest play that is perfect for the spooky season. I got the chance to check out all of the behind-the-scenes action. Theater is one of the oldest art forms in the world. There are so many aspects that go into making a production, but what many people do not see is the preparation that happens behind the scenes, like for UNT's newest play called Anatomies.
We're starting tech this Saturday, and so once that starts, we'll get our lights queued up, and that'll be really interesting because I know that the lighting design is going to be really interesting.
Despite the play not opening for another week, the crew has been working hard on lighting, sets, and costumes since early September.
Before tech week, it takes probably about, on average, 3 or 4 fittings a person in order to get a garment right. So it takes a while to make something perfect.
But the crew has to start putting their finishing touches on everything because the play itself opens on Halloween night. If you're looking to attend the UNT Theater production of Anatomies, you can purchase tickets through their website. For ntTV, I'm Landry Brady.
There's been so much happening in the sports world lately, I can hardly keep up.
I know. Luckily, we have our sports anchor, Christian Bursich, to keep us updated. Christian, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. The Los Angeles Dodgers have looked unstoppable so far this postseason. I've got an update on their World Series matchup against the New York Yankees, as well as the latest on the Dallas Cowboys, after the break.
Join ntTV November 5th for the biggest night in American politics, with on-the-field reporting from the Capitol to campus, coverage from our social media audiences, opinions from a panel of experts, and an in-depth look at our state's most pressing issues. The presidential seat and the seat for Texas Senator are both on the ballot, and we will keep you up to date on those voting numbers. Watch our Your Choice 2024 election show live from 6 to 8 p.m. on Frontier 46, Charter 192, or at NorthTexasTelevision.com. Here to keep you covered and informed, we're North Texas Television.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have dominated the World Series so far, taking a 3-0 lead against the New York Yankees. Game 1 hinted at an intense series, but the Dodgers look to end it tonight with a clean sweep and give baseball megastar Shohei Ohtani his first World Series ring. However, Aaron Judge and the Yankees aren't going to give up without a fight. New York looks to get back in the series with a win in front of their home crowd tonight. I'm certainly hoping that the Yankees can pull off a comeback. Game 4 starts tonight at 7:08. The Dallas Cowboys have fallen to third in the NFC East following their 30-24 road loss to the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. The Cowboys held a 10-6 lead at halftime, but couldn't stop the 49ers offense in the second half. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott struggled to keep the ball, throwing 2 costly interceptions that put the 49ers in a position to score. San Francisco took advantage of a struggling Dallas defense, racking up 223 yards and 2 touchdowns with the run game. While the Cowboys struggle, the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles are thriving. This Dallas team needs to get back in the win column if they hope to compete for the NFC East. That's all for me. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Christian. A neighborhood in Mississippi seems to be attracting some uninvited guests, and they're a lot scarier than trick-or-treaters. Destiny Polster has the story.
We just thought, okay, 1 or 2 times, but then when we saw the 4th one, we're like, this is some serious stuff.
Danielle and Michael Lashbrook have lived in their Moss Point home for around 5 years. Up until this week, they've never had an alligator problem.
But alligators, I wouldn't have ever expected it since we had a fenced-in yard.
It was Monday afternoon when a neighbor called Danielle at work after hearing a hissing noise from the other side of the Lashbrooks fence. Danielle's first worry was the safety of her 4 small dogs.
That's the time that my dogs go outside between 12 and 12:30. I immediately didn't mean to hang up on my neighbor. I said, I gotta go. I called my husband and I said, our neighbor Tom thinks there's an alligator in the backyard.
Michael says he immediately went to search the yard with a stick.
I was intrigued about having an alligator in the yard, but then also I had a little fear not knowing what size it was.
I want to say possibly maybe 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, I got a picture. It's the alligator. It's in our backyard.
Moss Point police and an animal control officer assisted with the removal of the 3 to 4 foot alligator. It was released at a boat launch down the street.
Knowing that my dogs were outside twice, and not one time did my dogs even see the alligator or get bit, so I'm thankful for that part.
The couple says the last alligator sighting in the neighborhood was on Friday. That makes the 4th in just a week.
The couple says that they plan to cut back the bushes in their yard so other gators don't have a place to hide.
I'm glad we do not have to deal with that around here.
Me either.
Thank you for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.